have a dog in my lap. She just jumped up the minute I started. So, what was on my mind was, I think I had a date yesterday. I don't know. In my age, it's so uncertain what we're doing. But, I wanted to check this guy out because he was new here. And I'd met him we have expatriate meetings, expat groups down here. And we don't have to ask people's age. We all know we're over 65. A lot of us are over 75. Well, I actually know a few people over 80s, but a lot of them don't really, well, I shouldn't say that. I have a neighbor who's 80 and she gets out all the time. She drives, she's got girlfriends, they run around. Anyway, what happened was I couldn't get a beam on this guy and he was kind of new to the community. I think he just moved here from the South. He'd been in Loreto and nobody knew anything about him. And I'm going like, sometimes people who come to Mexico are not the best. They're not giving us their best from the States. Sometimes, they're like, they're wanted by the law for something, or they stop paying their alimony, or they stop paying their child support. Well, he was older, and I think he probably was beyond child support. And of course, we were going to meet at a restaurant, which is a very good idea. Always meet at a restaurant. But he sent me the most peculiar note that he wanted to pick my brain about like the cultural events in the city. And I thought, first of all, I hate that expression, pick my brain. I wrote back, I said, please leave me some brain. I need it. Anyway, I postponed it for a week. I said, let's do it next week. And that gave me time to think. And one of the things I thought about was it wasn't just him. It was me. It's been a very, very long time since anybody has shown any interest in me whatsoever of the opposite sex. Well, I shouldn't put it that way. My own sex isn't interested in me either. But, if you're going to go meet a gal or you're going to go walk a dog together, you're not thinking, what's the agenda here? Which I do think with men. Sorry, men, if I offended you with that. Not really. I'm not sorry at all. And I remembered an incident that when I had arrived in Hollywood and I knew nobody and I had like, I don't know, maybe $50 to my name. I was like babysitting for a living, even though I'd sold some scripts already. They weren't being made. And it was crazy. And I got this big invitation to a big party at Linda Hope's house. She's the daughter of Bob Hope. So it was in Bob Hope's house, but he wasn't there. And so I went. I think it was supposed to start at 8, and I got there at 8. Nobody was there. I was the only person there. And the caterers were there. And I went, okay. And it was huge. It was a mansion in Toluca Lake. And so I went over and sort of sat near the fireplace trying to look casual in my thrift shop dress that I bought at one of those places where if you're rich, consignment, I don't know, you can give it away. And my two tight shoes, my Campesio flats, but that was the only size they had. And I sat there, and this young man came in. He too was too early, and we got to chatting. What could we do with the only two people in the room? And his name was Brandon Tartikoff, and he was in development at that time, and I don't remember. I think it was NBC, or maybe it was ABC. And the network. And so we were chatting. And so that was very nice. And actually, eventually we dated a little bit. And during the course of the evening, Brandon and I were talking. And because he was in development, a lot of people came to him when we would be chatting because you want to make an appointment with the guy who was in development, bring your ideas to. And a woman walked over and Brandon, and he would introduce the people as they came up to me and say, this is so-and-so. And he said, oh, Lisa, this is Lisa Weinstein, and this is Carol Roper. And Lisa Weinstein looked at me, and she said, oh, I remember you. We lived in the same building when we were children in New York. And you liked my sister better than you liked me, and you'd want to play with me. And she walked away. And I was like, oh my God. Well, for one, I was just arrived and desperate for work, and she was a producer, and it was not exactly the kind of relationship you want with a producer who hates you from when you were 9 years old because you liked her sister better than her. And had I had the wits about me, I would have said, and that's why, Lisa. But I thought, how interesting that somebody would hold that grudge for so many years. She was already a successful producer and is way more successful now. And that was about 35 years ago. So I thought that was an interesting thing, the way people hold something their whole lives. And eventually Brandon actually got this enormous promotion and was very, very generous with his old friends, particularly women he dated. And I have to say that he is the only man ever. And I've known a lot of guys that I had dated who were very rich or had positions who ever helped anybody out, who he had dated. One thing I know about very powerful rich men is they want to be loved for themselves. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. And you can love them for themselves, but some of them, come on, some of them, agents and things, when we're dating them, seriously, do you think we're really in love with you? Get a clue. Anyway, I survived that, and I survived my luncheon, and it turned out this guy was very, very nice man, even though we did drink 4 glasses of wine in a lunch that was less than 2 hours long, and I hardly drink at all. He was not a predator, and as far as I can see, the only issue that he probably has is he did mention that he had broken up with his partner of 43 years, who turned out that he's married to her, and they also still have a business together. So I suspect he's not divorced. I suspect he's here finding himself in Mexico, but that's fine. I did not make a fool of myself by arriving too early, and I'll probably eat with him again. Who knows? Anyway, thought I would catch you up on my social life these days. Hope you're having a good one too. Bye. Love you.